Beautiful Incuse silver Canadian maple leafs when we return. Hey gold and silver stackers, welcome back to my channel. So today I do have 3 ounces of Canadian silver to show you. These are 2019 Incuse silver Canadian maple leafs. Now the Incuse maple leafs are not really a low mintage coin, but they're much lower in mintage than the standard silver Canadian maple leafs. I picked these up at the local coin shop. I paid $30 each for these. These coins come with a certain advantage for someone like me because when I see them at the coin shop, typically they are priced a little bit different than your standard Canadian maple leaf, whereas online they're quite a bit more expensive. We'll talk about the reasons that I picked up these coins, but first let's take a look at them. All right, so this is a 2019, and for your average stacker, you're probably not going to pick these up because, as mentioned online, they do come with a slightly higher premium. But you can see there that Queen Elizabeth II, she is actually indented. She's recessed or incused into this coin. So like all Canadian silver maple leafs, Queen Elizabeth is on the front of the coin. It is backed by 5 Canadian dollars, this coin, although it is worth a little more than 30 US dollars in silver value right now when you add the physical premium attached to it. So not a perfect coin, but pretty nice. Remember, this is a bullion coin. It is not a super low mintage collectible coin. It's just a different option in the silver Canadian maple leaf collection. All right, so let's get to the pretty side, like I like to say. So here you can see the actual maple leaf itself. This is a 2019, so it does have the radial lines back behind Canada and the actual maple leaf there in the middle. This is 4/9 fine silver, so this is as refined as silver gets. A little bit more refined than your 3/9 fine American Silver Eagles. So you can see there the 4/9 on the left and the right of the maple leaf. You've also got the words fine silver, 1 ounce, argent pure. Keeping in mind that Canada is a dual language country with the majority of the country speaking English, but of course there are portions of Canada where French is the language. All right, so I did pick up 3 of these, so $90. Got these at the local coin shop, and I'm really impressed with them. So what I want to do right now is I want to grab a 2020 Canadian maple leaf. Now this is a standard silver bullion Canadian maple leaf. You can see it's got the same security features as the one I just showed you. Of course, the obvious difference being that the maple itself is actually above the surface of the coin. You can see that it rises up above. So let's go ahead and grab the Incuse maple one more time. We'll go ahead and flip it over to the maple side. So now you've got the standard bullion coin to the left and the Incuse maple to the right. Very similar coins, of course, with one being raised and the other Incuse. So now I haven't seen any of these Incuse coins for 2020. I imagine that has something to do with the world events during 2020 and the impacts to the bullion supply chain due to the virus. Beautiful coins. Both of these coins are absolutely gorgeous. However, there's just a special thing about this Incuse maple that makes it all that much more unique. All right, so let's go ahead and grab both coins again. This time, however, we will show you the queen. All right, so the Incuse coin is on the left, and the standard 2020 Canadian maple leaf is on the right. Try to show you the distinction between the Incuse and the standard silver Canadian maple leaf. All right, let's try to get one more view. And this time, I'm going to swap sides on them. Okay, I'm going to try to get a little bit more control with my hands here to show you the distinction. Okay, so now on the left, you have the standard 2020. You can see 2020 on the coin closest to you. And the 2019 is Incuse. Now, when I hit it at a certain angle, it's quite obvious. All right, well, I'm curious to know what you think. Do you have a preference for one or the other coins? Do you have any of the 2018 or 2019 Incuse maples? I've only got these 2019s at this time, these three, so not too many, but I definitely would like to stack some more. So as I mentioned, 2018 was the first year of the Incuse silver maple leaf. I also think that 2018 is definitely a great year to begin accumulating the silver Canadian maple leafs in general, because you get the added protection from milk spots, which the silver Canadian maple leafs are very famous for. And we don't like the milk spots. Now, milk spotting doesn't necessarily reduce the value of the coin. There are people that will pay the same price, regardless of BU condition or BU condition with milk spots. However, from a desire perspective, right, we're talking about an individual buyer here, someone who wants to buy. Most of us like to have shiny coins, right? As close to perfect as possible. At least I do. Now, I know that when you're stacking for weight and weight alone, the condition of the coin doesn't really matter. But for these Incuse maples, I'm happy that they're in very good condition. All right, so let's talk about a couple of the reasons why this was a good buy. And the first one is buy what you like, right? Buy what you like. I like to buy sometimes just things that catch my eye. So when I'm going into the coin shop, right, I'm looking around at the normal stuff, silver American Eagles, gold American Eagles, gold Buffaloes. I like to look at those coins when they're in stock, but occasionally I like to go over to the generic bin, and the generic bin can be loaded with all sorts of things. And with my local coin shops, a lot of times these special edition Canadian coins, like for instance, this Canadian maple leaf with the dog privy, a gift from Silver Britches. All right. Even though these come at a higher premium online, in the local community at my local coin shop, I'm not going to get any more money back selling this coin than I would the standard maple leaf. I'm also not going to get any more money back with the Incuse coin over the standard maple leaf. And the same applies to the Kraken. Even though this is a 2-ounce coin, I'll get 2 ounces of silver. I'm going to get the same price that I would get for the standard 2020 Canadian maple leaf, maybe even less, depending on the situation, because there aren't a whole lot of people that are going to come in and go, hey, I'd like to just buy 3 of these Incuse coins. Now, this was something that they only had 3. I love them. I got a tube right over here. This will hold 20 Canadian silver maple leafs. I got an extra tube right here. So I'll put these 3 coins back in the tube, and I'll continue to accumulate the standard ones, though. So, you know, if you've been watching my channel, I do have 20 already put in a tube of the standard 2020 maple leafs. And then I'm also working on this tube here, which I believe I've got 6 or 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 plus 1, so 6. So I've got 26 of the 2020 silver maple leafs so far this year that I'll continue to stack until I fill those tubes up. But as opportunity comes along for me to pick up one of these nice Incuse coins, well, I'll go ahead and do that. All right, so let's take a look at the second reason that is why I like to buy this coin, and that is the lower mintage numbers. All right, so even though this isn't a low mintage coin, we're not talking 5,000 coins or anything like that. It's definitely a more unique coin than the standard maple leaf. So when I sell these in the secondary market, especially to someone that knows what they're looking for, whereas my local coin shop doesn't always take that into consideration, online in the secondary market, most people do, and I definitely will. So if I ever part with these coins, I'm definitely going to charge a little bit higher price than what I would for a standard 2020 maple leaf. And I expect to get it because the coins are actually quite high in demand. If you go to eBay right now and type in Incuse silver Canadian maple leaf, there'll be a few of them on there for sale, but they're definitely going at a much higher premium than your standard bullion coin. All right, and the third reason, and this goes along, that is, with everything I've been trying to say, and that is the LCS versus online scenario. Okay, you're not going to find these coins very frequently at your LCS, but when you do, they might be priced a little more favorably, as I mentioned, than buying them from Apmex or JM Bullion, for instance. And that's because online there is a very strict pricing structure from coin to coin to coin to coin. Each coin is a little bit different in price, whereas when you go to your local coin shop, with the exception of generic silver and American Silver Eagles, most of their foreign silver coins are priced right around the same. So I'm going to pick up a maple leaf for the same price I can get a kangaroo, I can get a Krugerrand, or I can get a Britannia. Now, on the sell side, selling back to the local coin shop, I'll definitely do better with the Maple Leafs. And the reason I say better is because Maple Leafs actually carry some demand, whereas the Britannia, the Krugerrand, the Philharmonic, for instance, there is definitely not a whole lot of demand for those coins here in Florida. They're nicer to hold than the silver rounds, but I'm very careful with how many of them that I buy and hold, because I do know that both of my local coin shops, they're not huge fans of those silver coins. They'll buy them for me, but a lot of times they're going to offer me the same price for those coins that they would for a generic silver round. All right, so let's transition now and let's take a look at some silver news out there right now. And this is an analyst forecast on what he expects to happen for the meantime in the silver market. All right, so this article comes to us today from Investing Cube. It was published on September 11th, which is today. September 11th, definitely a day that all of us that were alive during that time here in the United States will remember. I personally was on active duty at that time, and I remember very well the consequences of that day, having deployed and served overseas in Afghanistan and other Middle Eastern countries for several years of my life. All right, so this comes from Investing Cube. Silver price triangle formation points to a breakout to $30. All right, so the silver price XAG USD was little changed today as traders wait for inflation data from the US. The metal is trading at $26.75, which is slightly lower than yesterday's high of $27.50. Silver has been in a consolidation zone the past few days. That has happened due to uncertainty about the future price of silver after its parabolic rally in the last few months. For starters, silver fell to an 11-year low of $11 at the height of the virus pandemic. Okay, so things have definitely cooled off a little bit for silver of late. It seems to me that there has been quite a bit of action when it comes to all assets in the technology sector of the stock market. We've seen some massive gains over the last month or so. On the tech side, companies like Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, to name a few, there are plenty more out there, have just really shot up in valuation in the stock market over the last month. And as that's happened and people have kind of shifted away from precious metals, as the pandemic that we're in right now, we're still very much in it, has just kind of become more dated, right? So some of the influences from the pandemic, while obviously still there, just aren't necessarily in the mind of investors over the last month or so. All right, so let's move on to the next slide of the article here. And after that, we saw the price rally to a high of $29.67 in August. This rally happened for three main reasons. First, the Federal Reserve started printing unprecedented amounts of dollars through its open-ended quantitative easing program. At the same time, the U.S. passed stimulus packages worth trillions of dollars. All of this led to a weaker dollar, which tends to be supportive of other asset classes, including stocks, gold, and silver. All right, that's correct. And that's very important for you to remember that inflation and a weakening dollar are not just good for gold and silver, natural hedges against inflation, but they also help out the stock market. All right. If it's cheaper to borrow, it's also cheaper for corporations to borrow. That's one supporting indicator. And anytime that corporations can take on, more favorable debt to grow and expand, that's usually bullish for the actual stock market. All right, so we'll move on. Second, silver rallied because of spending unleashed by global governments. In the European Union, the bloc passed a $850 billion spending package. Okay, that's a lot smaller than what happened in the United States, but still a lot of money. According to package documents, most of this will go toward renewable energy, and silver is an important metal used in the manufacture of solar panels. Similarly, in the U.S., polls now show that Joe Biden is poised to defeat Donald Trump. Okay, these are not my words. This is coming from the article. I don't put any faith in the polls, and I think 2016 proved that. Third, silver price has rallied because of low supply generated by shutdowns associated with the pandemic. Okay, so what the author is trying to tell us here is that a couple of things happened. Well, first of all, when the lockdowns first went into effect, overall, the market went to liquidity. And when I mean liquidity, they went to cash, they went to currency, they went to the US dollar, their local currency, but mostly to the US dollar, which is one reason why you saw a dramatic spike in the value of the dollar right when the shutdowns were kicked off here in the United States in March. That drove down all asset prices. Stocks were way down on both the strengthening dollar as well as the economic outlook for corporations. Obviously, closing the doors is not beneficial to profit margins, right? Secondly, people wanted to go to cash. They didn't know what was going to happen. And institutional investors and smart investors alike, they went to cash because I think everyone knows that negative news is also a great time to make money. Okay. So go to cash. Let's see what happened. Well, what happened is silver tanked. All right. Just like stocks, gold was definitely down. Platinum tanked. Gold was down the least of the three precious metals we're talking about. However, stocks were way down and silver was way down. All right. But since that time, just like with stocks, we've seen a very nice recovery in gold, silver, and platinum, especially in silver, as silver has gone from a GSR, that is a gold to silver ratio, or the ounces, the troy ounces in silver that you'd have to hold to be valued in US dollars at the same amount as 1 ounce of gold, was as high as 122 to 1, meaning you would have to have 122 troy ounces of silver to make up for 1 ounce of gold. Okay. So just 1 ounce of gold, like this gold eagle here, at one point was valued the same as 122 ounces of silver. But nowadays that gold to silver ratio is down in the low 70s. It's actually creeped into the high 60s. So silver has definitely made a lot of gains on gold of late. All right, so silver miners are expected to mine much less silver in 2020 than during 2019, but are benefiting from higher prices. Therefore, the price is likely to remain in this consolidation during the next few trading days. Since this triangle comes after a strong rally, I suspect that the price will break out higher and possibly retest the important level of 30 US dollars. Okay, so this is one person's assessment on the market. We've seen silver trading in a range in the 26s up to the 28s now for a couple of weeks. After its epic pullback, well, it did pull back from the mid 29s down, I believe, as low as 24 about a month back during its first big pullback after the run up. We've seen it come back up, and now we've seen it stabilize. The author of this article, of course, thinks that we're going to retest that $30. What I can tell you is that I do think that in the midterm, we're going to see silver continue to rise in value. I expect some choppiness, as we've only got about a little more than a month before the 2020 presidential election here in the United States. And there's a lot still to be seen on how bullion is going to be impacted, whichever direction this election goes. Personally, I think that if Joe Biden is elected, there's a lot more unknown. There's also a lot more risk that will immediately be in the market when it comes to the overall market and assets. So I expect a Joe Biden victory to be more bullish for gold and silver, and a Donald Trump victory. We've already had him for 4 years. We kind of know where he's going, his economic policies. He definitely doesn't refrain from speaking his mind. So I think the market in general has a much better feel for Donald Trump's policies. And so I think we'll see really not a sell-off, but I do think we'll see relatively more stable prices with a reelected Donald Trump. Now, that's just my opinion. You have yours. Happy to hear what it is. So let's move on to mail call and Q&A from last week's video. All right, so I'd like to open up mail as well as answer some questions from previous videos on the channel. During the end of each of my videos, it's a new thing I got going on, and I'm going to continue that. So let's get to the mail call and Q&A. Unfortunately, no mail today. So we'll jump straight to the first comment here, and it comes from Joey from Seattle. Strong Florida Stacker, strong. Keep up the great vids, brother, for us across the prairie. Hey, Joey, man, I really appreciate it. You definitely leave a lot of positive and motivational comments for me. I take that to heart. It definitely feels good knowing that you've got people out there that really appreciate the time and effort that you put into videos. And I'm telling you, I do definitely put a lot of time and effort into these videos. I appreciate it, Joey. Continue to leave comments, man, and let me know what you'd like to see going forward. Stay safe up there in the Northwest. Buggin81 had some money set aside for some gold, but wound up buying a Glock 21 today instead. I really didn't plan on it, just kind of happened. Hey, Buggin81. I completely understand buying guns as someone who has several pistols. as well as a Glock 26 subcompact. I know what you mean, man. They do gun shows here in Florida quite frequently, at least once a month in Central Florida. Definitely a gun show going on somewhere around here. And occasionally I have been known to splurge on one as well. I think it's important to know how to operate a handgun, to know how to effectively use one. Obviously, in 2020, probably more pertinent now than ever. Goodbye, man. Goodbye. All right, Joseph Jones. That's what I do with one of my checking accounts for gold, though. Okay, so Joe's referring to the last video when I stated that I transfer money each week, actually each day. I typically transfer money each day from my primary checking account to my Florida Stacker checking account. This keeps me focused on making sure that my bills are paid, making sure that I fund my IRA, making sure that I fund my kids' college accounts, take the wife on a date, buy some dinner, do whatever it is that needs to happen for life to go on and for everyone to function and be happy. And, when that's done, then I transfer the additional excess cash sitting in my checking account over to my Florida Stacker checking account so I can purchase these gold, silver, and platinum coins that you see here today. Awesome that you do that too, Joe. Discipline is key. Borderland Stacker, great information, Florida. I'm going to look into OneGold. Looking forward to your next episode. Hey, thank you. I hope you're watching this video right now, Borderland Stacker. Appreciate the nice words there. Yeah, OneGold definitely has some options. It's just another tool for the stacker's tool belt. Namely, like I was trying to say in my last week's video, when there's a hot coin release from Apmex, you can redeem it through OneGold at the best tier Apmex pricing. So I think right there alone, especially let's say the 2020 Libertad is the one that I used, you can imagine that premiums are going to be high, but there's probably going to be a $2 to $3 difference per coin from Apmex best tier price and the price that you're going to pay on the standard Apmex website. So if you can save $2 to $3 and you want to buy a tube, that's 25 coins, right? I don't know about you, but I like saving $75, $80 when I'm buying anything. So OneGold definitely has some advantages, especially the fact that you can redeem anything in their catalog. You do got to pick up the phone and call them and tell them what you want, and they'll add it, and then you can redeem it. But I think it's great for that singular purpose only, if not all the other great features that it adds for people that are trying to invest or make money in gold, silver, and platinum. All right, let's move on to some more comments. So Silverholic, hey Silverholic, and by the way, Silverholic's got an excellent YouTube channel. I especially like the Excel file that he has on a recent video that you can download for free for you to track your dollar cost average and all your purchases of gold, silver, and platinum. He's even got some Bitcoin and some other altcoin tabs on there for you and others that are accumulating Bitcoin. So head over to Silverholic's channel. He definitely has an interesting outlook on silver. And also he's a Canadian. So if you're a Canadian watching this, and you want to support a fellow Canadian, then head on over to Silverholic's channel. So Philharmonics look good, but the silver one milk spots like crazy. Good idea to get the gold one. It won't do that. That's a very good point, Silverholic. And the majority of my non-2020 Philharmonics are milk spotted. I don't have too many, but definitely something to consider when thinking about picking up Philharmonics. Now, you're not going to have that problem with the gold ones, as Silverholic points out. The gold quarter ounce Philharmonic was a pickup during last week's video. Salivate Metal, Sal, the godfather of stacking here on YouTube and collecting. That is a very nice quarter ounce Philharmonic. Yep, gold is mostly valued in comparison to the dollar index. And similarly to the article that we read today, when the dollar weakens, gold and silver tend to strengthen. When the dollar strengthens, you tend to see a reduction in spot price with gold and silver. Thank you for the compliment on the quarter ounce Philharmonic, Sal. If you don't know who Salivate Metal is, then I don't know what rock you've been hiding under. Happy to have Sal here. He posts and comments frequently. It's not solicited by any means, so that means a lot to me. It means a lot to me when the big, well-known YouTube stacking channels take time out of their day to come and check out the content I'm producing. And Salivate Metal has been commenting on my channels now for several months, on my videos now for several months, and greatly appreciated, Sal. Thank you very much. Aloha Stacker. Hey, we got another new stacking channel out there, Aloha Stacker. Didn't know about OneGold. I'll research it, and if I decide to open an account, I will use your link. Well, thank you, Aloha Stacker. Aloha Stacker is new to the community. I don't know how many videos he's got out yet. It's not many. I'd probably place it under less than 2 dozen. If you got time today, head on over to Aloha Stacker's channel. Check out his content. He's a stacking brother coming to us from the Hawaiian Islands. Pirate Stacker, good-looking gold man. Hey, I live up in DeBerry. Do you have any coin shops you recommend here in Central Florida? Struggling to find anything good up this way. Nice video. Keep them coming. Okay, Pirate Stacker. Also another stacking channel here on YouTube. Another new stacker to the stacking community. Also check out Pirate Stacker's channel. He's got a very good layout. I like how he lays out everything in his videos. He's also got some experience with some copper. I learned something about him on copper in one of his recent videos. As a matter of fact, Pirate Stacker, as soon as I can see those COVID copper rounds in at JM Bullion again, I'm going to go ahead and pick up a tube just like you. I think that was a fun and also potentially smart pickup. Copper at 99 cents a round. You can get a full tube for about 20 bucks. So I'll add that to my next JM Bullion order. Thanks, Pirate Stacker. I appreciate it. Hey, as far as answering your question, All-American Gold and Silver in Apopka's not too far from DeBerry. For those of you not familiar with Central Florida, DeBerry is in the northern part of Central Florida, up north of Orlando. Head on over to see George at All-American Gold and Silver. He'll take great care of you. All right, so here's some of the silver bars that George currently has in inventory. Looks like an Apmex round over there. Some Silvertown, A-Mark. These are nice. These are really popular too. These COVID 10 troy ounce COVID-19 pandemic bars. Can't remember the mint. Do you know the mint that makes?
Invala.
Invala. Yeah, they've made some pretty nice rounds. There's a couple of nice silver bars here. I think I'm going to go ahead and take that Sunshine Minting 10-ounce silver bar off you right here, George.
Okay.
All right. Mad Stacker first. Mad Stacker, thank you. I appreciate that. I know, especially to know that bell notification works. All right, everybody. So that's going to conclude today's video. I really appreciate you tuning in today and having a look at these nice, beautiful Incuse maple leafs that I picked up at the local coin shop. 30 bucks each, so $90 in silver. Now, it's not a whole lot of silver to show you. Let me see if we can fix the glare here on the coins. Don't know why the camera's not focusing in on this one. Let's see if we can fix that. All right. Not cooperating with me today. It's staying focused on the coins in the back, but I'll go ahead and get a little snippet up of some up closes here for the ending. Do consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Also, please, it does help me by hitting that thumbs up or like in icon that notifies other potential viewers that this video has some educational, informational, and entertainment value, all of which I greatly appreciate. And also, if you could, please spread the word. Talk to people about the channel. I appreciate it. We're getting closer to 5,000 subscribers. Thanks again, everybody, and I'll see you again soon on another precious metals and dividend investing video. Take care, my friends.